Right. We are now delighted to be joined over the telephone by Dr. Amr Saleh, Professor of Political Economy and former advisor to the World Bank. Dr. Amr, a very good afternoon to you, sir.
Very good afternoon to you all.
Thank you very much for joining us, Doctor. Now, let's talk a bit about this movers classification. What does this mean that Egypt has been chosen according to the measure of expected economic momentum, which was published in the World Report?
Yeah, well, actually, this report the country to overcome the latest difficulties.
Right.
And we've seen the COVID, in industrial countries like the States, we've seen the rate of growth of the economy of China dropping from percent. This was really the index of the report is measuring the capability of the countries to overcome the latest difficulties. We were one of the countries that had a rate of growth, a unique rate of growth in 2020. We were among the 18 countries. Most of the countries were making or had made and made already a rate of growth, a negative rate of growth. And this was due to the economic reform that the country has been undertaken since 2014, 2015. You remember that time the rate of growth of the revolution went to 1.8%, and then in 2019, and this was really amazing, we had a growth going up to 6.2%. Reserve foreign country reserve reached about $47 billion after we had a very bad record of 11 billions. These indicators have made the country able to overcome the latest negative impacts of the COVID-19, and therefore we were among the most important 10 countries that were able to face economic difficulties during the last years.
Right. Dr. Amr, what are the factors that international economic institutions rely on when they come to classify a country such as Egypt, speaking about, for example, their positive outlook or promising economy, etc.?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. That's what I was saying, that correct me if I'm wrong, you remember in 2012, the country was hoping to get a credit from the World Bank, and the amount of the credit was, very small. It was about $2 billion, I think, $2 billion, and negotiations went for 16 months, and at the end of the day, we couldn't get the loan. However, we had a very good record and long history with the World Bank. And at that time, the World Bank and the IMF said the country is not going to be able to get any loan because of the political instability, and because they were seeing that Egypt is not going to be able to overcome any of its political and economic difficulties. The same institution, the same international financial institution, have said in 2018 that what the country has done at that time, reaching a rate of growth of 6%, reducing unemployment, creating jobs, modernizing its infrastructure. This was a success story, and that's why we are now among the 10 most dynamic country, and this has been said by this report and by also lots of international reports, not only these recent reports. Even the IMF have said that what the country has made is a success story, and that we need to learn how a country like this could make a rate of growth of 6%, 6.5%, in very few years after having a 1.8 or 2% rate of growth.
Indeed. Doctor, one final question, sir. Do other factors come into play? For example, the Egyptian current investment environment, the location of the country, the weather conditions, for example, favorable weather in Egypt, etc. Do they play a role in really making Egypt come out as a globally distinguished country?
Well, let's talk politically economy. Okay, the first principle in political economy and in having the right rules and making sustainable development.
Yes.
This is from an economic point of view. From a political point of view, you need to have a political stability, and this is, in my opinion, what the country had. A very strong political stability after years of instability, and bad instability, a political stability, political will, a regime that had faith in the country and its possibility and its its capability in creating a success story. So political will and political stability, in my opinion, were the two very important measures and two important factors that has created this takeoff in the economy of the country very recently.
Right. I'd like to thank you very, very much, Dr. Amr Saleh, Professor of Political Economy and the former advisor to the World Bank. Thank you so much, sir, for your time and your insight on today's edition of Cairo Local Time. And for our last segment for today, we wrap up with the arts. And of course, this time we go to a feature story about the famous Egyptian great actor, Mahmoud Abdelaziz. Let's take a look.
An Egyptian movie and television actor. He was born on the 4th of June 1946 in Wardiyan, a neighborhood